inspired by Galatians 1 and 2. I remember reading my Bible and gaining bit by bit an understanding of the Pauline epistles. Eager to share, I told the minister of the church that I was a part of that I liked Paul, that I could relate to him most, that I was impressed by his writing and that my soul found the words therein resonant. A decade later, I would see the truth, that I could feel the shoes of being able to relate primarily to Galatians 1 and 2. My indignation rose hot within me when I realized that I bought and was repeatedly sold a lie. The occult called out to me from the deep. Early on, I was probably like 9, and everything that would try to bring me to ruin, end my life, or play a part in my near demise came to me around that time. The wheat and the tare growing side by side, as I would find, snare and purpose often intertwined, until, likewise, when God, who had chosen me and set me apart before I was born, called me, I wasn't immediately like, oh yeah, it's on. I vetted the call. But when I spoke, I said, God, Father, I recognize my wrongs. I won't ever again be found of those particular faults. My words spoken, a poet held no truth at all. I caused others to spiritually stumble, and I can only pray that they recover it all. I surrendered it all, microphone and all, and wondered all the more, was there any merit to this preaching call? I'll go forward, but at any time you can stop it all. And so Galatians 1, 8 and 9 is my battle cry. Come hell or high water, if I recant my ultimate statement, whereas I regard Christ as king, me, an angel, or any other human being, you turn away from them immediately. Destruction on their head, lest you reap whatever hell could come next. Like Paul, I traveled before, returning to the scene of the call. I spent years around the saints before I even thought I actually might be called in that way. And when the time actually came, I inched my way through the processes of men until my license to preach was conferred to me in December 2020. But that epiphany began to peak in 2015. By then, I had to deal with the microphone beef, where everyone who was called of God condemned those who thought they may too be called to preach, called them wounded, attention-seeking, microphone fiends. I was in elementary when Ms. Nelson called me an MC. I was groomed back then to speak publicly for the days I would perform, and yes, those days that I would preach, audiences of one empty room or in a ton. We ain't had no microphone, and sometimes used a goodie brush, if I remember that we even had one, but I had reached before I had material. I embodied that thing. I never needed that particular rebuke or kind of teaching. Mike's found me, for it I did not seek. Still, I submitted time and time again, slowly walking into the greater version of the things that I vied for and fumbled over since exiting out of my teens, much like the Pauline Council at Jerusalem in Galatians 1 and 2 in him. I get it. We all did a little different, but in the truth, there is no variance. Sidebar, I do not cringe when I'm asked to speak, because there is one thing of this I am never taken by surprise. I will give yes or no, but there is no confusion on this wise. I don't care who does it or who would abuse it. There is only one gospel in this life, and I would quicker die before I take it back on the sly, because this thing is in me, the very fiber of my being, the very breath of my life. Do I look scared to you? There is not a peon or a giant that I would not slay at the behest of Christ if it means changing one more mind, impacting one more life, if it means that when asked who believes, someone else will speak up and say, oh yeah, it's up from here. I would oppose the counsel of those who once counseled me, put in writing for the world to see that where I was once acclaimed, fellowshipped with, and given permission to lead, these people think lower than low and have paid nothing but dirt to me. I would rebuke and correct face to face. Forget a text. I ain't done it yet because my fist grew violent from the pain that was in my chest, but I wrote it for you because truthfully, they couldn't receive it yet. You are new here, and I will write out this check. There is none above rebuke, none above correction. God knows and sees all, despite what we know and how we decide to keep on. I will let you decide for yourself, but I will tell you this. The gospel lives in me. I don't get to tussle with that. I don't get to say no. I only get to die that proverbial death. What will I crucify? What will I put to death? A woman of faith asked me, what are you willing to crucify within, to see and do and be the things that God purposed you to do? I said, everything. What about you?